Rafiq, and today I'm going to talk about Marghoob Sahab. And if we have to talk about some person who has been great of his time, we must quote someone who has been the great of his time as well. So Allama Iqbal says, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या है. एंड हर शीशा टूट जाता है पत्थर की चोट से, हर शीशा टूट जाता है पत्थर की चोट से, पत्थर ही टूट जाए वो शीशा तलाश कर. So after going through the life story of Marghoob Sahab, I felt he was like that mirror which had the capability to break the stone. He was not like us, the ordinary human beings. He had that willpower coming from ordinary background and reaching to the head of the Department of Kashmiri at Kashmir University, which is something remarkable that we all should take inspiration from him. So if we go through his poetry, because major aspect of his life has been poetry, we can find the concept of Tawheed, because my topic was assigned me as Tawheed as a part of his poetry. So when we go through his poetry, we see that throughout his poetry he talks about the omnipotence of God, omnipresence and omniscience of God, the creator of this universe, the sustainer of this universe. His poetry is different from the typical poetry which is Ishq Hakiki. His poetry, when we go through, we find that it is Ishq Hakiki, and which is much relevant in today's age. When we see in our surroundings that social evils are immense, but if we see his ideology, if we see his poetry, it talks about such things. It is idealism. For us, we are ordinary people. If we follow his footsteps, we can definitely make changes in this time when social evils are surrounding us. And his poetry is also about the love for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and coming from the ordinary and humble background of Banihali, it is also reflected and the mountains of Banihali. But I would say his willpower, his motivation was greater than the mountains of Banihali, which we can also find from his poetry. And then from this humble background of Banihali, he started as teacher, headmaster, vice principal, then lecturer of Persian, then completed his master's, PhD in Persian as well, and then rose to the position of head of Kashmiri department at Kashmir University. And his one of the greatest contribution towards us was when he got for his writings in English, Kashmiri, Persian, Urdu, he was given State Sahitya Academy Award, National Sahitya Academy Award, and outstanding scholar for Persian. He returned that award back, seeing the intolerance growing against the people, which shows that by his pen and by his writings, he wanted to be the voice of the voiceless people. By returning that award, he became the voice for the voiceless, and which shows that he was a compassionate person who not only saw the people in pain, but he also wanted to elevate and uplift the people who were downgraded, who had no voice to them. And for him, another contribution, if we talk about his contribution, was Marghoob theory. When he saw with the changing time, every language was changing. So he wanted to keep the Kashmiri language up to date, whereby the language and script should be as that people should not feel that it is a primitive language. So he introduced into it modern devices, but at the same time he tried to maintain the originality of Kashmiri language and prevent it from corrupted words. Because language, if we lose, it is not the loss of words or literature, it is the loss of moral values, it is the loss of culture. So by his Marghoob theory, he not only preserved and let us continue this language, but he also preserved Kashmiri culture and Kashmiriyat that we always talk about. And I believe one of his last wishes must have been the preservation of Kashmiri language. But unfortunately, today's generation has not been continuing with this language of Kashmiri. So I, at my own level, am taking this initiative to read something from his collection in Kashmiri language. Because if I am talking about if I'm talking about the preservation of Kashmiri language and continuance of this language, so I should myself be able to do something. I have never before this read anything in Kashmiri, and I'm not able to read or write something in Kashmiri, but we speak Kashmiri. Lekin aaj chu yus manzar omad ki ashe vai Kashmiri zaban chaisi ishna is vai bolante. Prime zamana se asan agar lukhas تم لکھان تم پران کشرس مز کی مگر کم سے کم تم بولان مگر آج یھ پرابلم گمت اس زبان کہ وی زبان بولان تھی یمیک مطلب کہ اگر اس 10 ورین 10 ورین بعد زبان بولن کی یھ منظر آسو پہ پران کہ اکس دورس مز زبان بولن تم سہ منظر بچنے خاطر نئی جنریشن انیشیٹو تلن کہ پرو تہ لکھو تہ بولو تہ یتھ لینگویج میں. ربنا پرت رنگ چھک سی لائقی حمد و ثنا ربنا پرت بجر کن چھک سی کبیر و کبریا ربنا پرت کار سوزی چوئے رست خوشنما ربنا پرت کاہ نظامہ چون برتے گربا ربنا خالق مالک پرت اکس کسی سوا ربنا معبود برحق چھنت سے رس بے کہا تھا ربنا مرغوب نس منگنس اجابت کر نصیب ربنا مرغوب نس منگنس اجابت کر نصیب ربنا پرت بچھ کس روحس بتوحید القضا آمین and thank you.
شکریہ ڈیئر دانش سر. اگر تو یہ